This is the perfect draft from the 104 in fantasy football. We have a special guest here. We got Big Motion, Big Tom making his debut on the Fantasy Channel.
Yes, sir. I've been mock drafting like a mofo lately, so I'm really excited.
How does it feel to be here? Does it feel the same as the YouTube videos?
Yeah. I walked down here and said, wow, it feels just like YouTube. Looks just like it.
So we got Tom here helping me out with the 104. We got Matty J behind the camera hanging out. If you guys haven't seen already, we did the 1-1, the 1-2, the 1-3. We built around Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jamar Chase, our top 3 players in fantasy. So the 104, you could argue this is where the draft really starts, but I feel like there's a consensus guy here who we're going to build around. We could just get right into it. Hopefully the computers don't take our guy and then make us have to restart.
You can just remove the player itself,
Okay.
you know that, right? Yeah.
Well, we're good. The computers didn't take our guy. The next guy up in our rankings is going to be Puka Nacua. Not much to be said here. I mean, this is a guy who cleared 1,700 yards last year and missed 2 games, I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he missed 2 games. He had multiple 200-plus receiving yard games, I'm pretty sure, or close to it. I mean, this is a guy who could be the number 1 overall player in fantasy football, and I feel like getting him at the 1-4, you have a little bit of an advantage there, too, because you draft earlier in the second round than the 1-1, 1-2, 1-3. So, Puka the clear 1-4.
Yep. Wow, H-Hand 1-9. That's something. We were just talking about that. But there's a lot to like at running back here, not so much at receiver. So I think James Cook is a pretty easy pick for me in the first, and then your guy's guy from what I'm hearing. Go Marion Hampton, double up on running back there and see how that favors me later on.
I like that. Yeah, we got Tom drafting from the 112, obviously, so he could see the board for us here at the 1-4 and whatever. So Tom takes Hampton, second round, Saquon, J. Love, Drake, Chase Brown, T. McBrizzle, Ashton Genty, and George Pickens. And we're back up here at the 2-9. Couple different directions we could go. Still got Brock Bowers there, which we did in one of these already. You have a decent choice of receivers with A.J. Brown, Rashee Rice, Nico Collins. And then you have some running backs, Ken Walker, D. Hen. Where would you go here?
I think I'd be on Walker or Henry. You went Puka, who feels pretty safe, so maybe you could swing for the fences with Ken Walker. If I had to pick who's going to have the better year, I'd probably just bet on Derrick Henry. I think that's high for Rashee Rice. A.J. Brown should have a really good year too, but I think I'd go for one of the running backs personally.
Yeah, I think I lean Henry over Ken Walker. You just, obviously he's older, but this is a guy who's just been defying time, basically. He's the LeBron James of running backs, it seems like.
Yeah. You ride till the wheels fall off.
I mean, yeah, his 2 years in Baltimore so far, he's gone over 1,600 and 15-plus touchdowns both years.
Yep.
I expect much of the same. I mean, I have him about there. I have him going for 15-32 and then 17 on the ground.
Yeah.
So build around D-Hen and Puka there. And we should have a good choice here in the beginning of the third. It goes Bowers, A.J. Rice, Jacobs, Neighbors, Allen. Your guy Ken Walker's still there. And then receivers, you have Nico Collins and Chris Olave. I'm not going to lie, we were talking about it before we started, about Ken Walker earlier in the summer going at the 1-2 turn. I feel like here in the third round, I feel good taking him. And like you said, you know what you're getting out of Puka. Obviously, there's a chance he misses games. You know what you're getting out of Derrick Henry. This is one where we could swing for the fences. I mean, it's a guy in a new role who running backs, highly drafted running backs who change teams typically have a high hit rate. We know Ken Walker's a home run hitter, had an insane playoff run, and then plays in a great offense in Kansas City. So we'll go Ken Walker here.
You're getting him at the RB14, which that's not even an RB1. You know what I mean? So that's a pretty good. That
I think
feels
that's
good.
a great price on Ken Walker.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. Had some technical difficulties there, but we still got Ken Walker. It auto-drafted him for us. It then goes Chris Olave, Bucky Irving, Nico Collins, Kyron Williams, Ted McMillan, T. Higgins, Lamar Jackson. Tom at the 312 takes Ibuka, and now you're up at the 4-1.
Yeah, so the idea is I have 2 running backs. I want guys that have safe target floors and still have high ceilings, so I'm going to go – I go with Buka because, he had 130 targets last year, and that's with him playing on a bad hamstring, Baker playing with all sorts of injuries, and then they threw him at the X, and he's just not that kind of guy. I think I'm going to double up on the Chargers here, and I'll go Ladd McConkey.
I like that.
If it lets me. Between him and Zay Flower. It's just too – where are you at with Luth? Like where do you press that button?
Not
Just
not
like
over a lot of these guys.
no,
Not
it's
over
just like
Ladd, say Smitty, Waddle.
you got to
Like
take him at like
the
wide receiver.
conversation for Luther starts with like even Garrett Wilson I'd probably take over Luther even though he's in a better offense. But like the conversation starts with the Devontae Adams, Jamison Williams of the world.
He's just never gonna be there. He's just never
Yeah.
gonna fall there.
And then we're up here. So it goes after Ladd, Brees, Luther, ETN, Cam, Javante, Garrett, Waddle. I have a home run pick here. I don't know if you agree. I'm sprinting to press Zay Flowers personally. It's been, he finished as wide receiver 12 last year, and a lot of that was just off of playing a full 17. But also, I feel like Zay Flowers is a guy who, like Matty J likes to say, has gotten better every year of his career so far. And
Definitely.
then the OC Declan Doyle, Lamar, even Jesse Minter at the podium, like all these guys have said is Zay Flowers is a great player. We want to get him the ball even more than we already have. I think he's going to have a true breakout year. Like I could see Zay Flowers. For me, he's the guy in this bunch of, that tier of the Ladd, of Buka, Waddle, Smitty, even Garrett Wilson. Like he's the guy for me who breaks into being a wide receiver one, especially since he's already done it. So I pick Zay Flowers pretty easily there.
Yeah, that's definitely who I was between him and Ladd. He also like 1,200 yards last year, 86 catches. He's only had in his total like 6 touchdowns his rookie year, 4 the next year, 6 the next year. Like he gets up to 8, 9, even 10 touchdowns. Like he could have a huge season.
This is
yeah, it was lagging for me too.
Yeah, it's something. All right, we're back. Ton of technical difficulties. You guys have no idea. Sleeper, fix your damn app. We got Zay Flowers, Puka, Derrick Henry, Ken Walker, Zay Flowers. Amazing, beautiful, gorgeous start.
Yeah.
Smitty, Loveland, Travion, Devontae, J-Mo, and Judkins go after us. We're up here at the beginning of the 5th. Where do you lean here?
I'm thinking I think you got a really nice, well-balanced team. You could go with a little onesie here, a little Drake May, Joe Burrow, Jaden. I know Jaden's your guy. I think that would, if I'm swinging for the fences, I think that's probably where I'd go, a little quarterback. I'm not big on these running backs here. Wide receivers are kind of interesting. I think I'd go a quarterback here.
So I feel like because there's 3 of them that we're okay with.
Okay.
I feel like we wait. And honestly, like you mentioned, I'm high on Jaden. I am obviously. That's my dog.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go Terry here and then hope Jaden makes it back to us and we could have a little stacky stack going.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we're gonna go.
There's a lot to like at quarterback. Even way later in the draft.
Yeah, we don't got to force quarterback here. Yeah. Oh, it went. We're good.
Okay. Woof.
I was gonna say we might have to move to ESPN or something, but we'll see how the rest of this goes.
All right. So
Drake May and Joe Burrow go, which isn't ideal for us, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Man, there's a lot to like here. I'm good on running back. I went top heavy at running back, so I think I'm going to continue to build out my receiver room. I'm not super crazy about anyone here. I want to get some shit off about Christian Watson. I think it's crazy to take Christian Watson in the 6th round when you could get Golden or Jaden Reed 5 rounds later. I'm just going to put that out there. I
completely agree.
Is he just better than Jaden Reed? Is that just a foregone conclusion? I think he's a better pure football player, but Jaden's had 2 seasons better than anything Watson's ever put together.
I kind of agree. Yeah, I'm not there on Christian Watson at ADP. He could smash, but there's just so much variance there that I'm not pressing that button. Yeah. Not there.
I think I'm going to take the shot on rookie Carnell Tate here. Should be the number 1 target. Well, not should be. He'll be the number 1 target. 4th pick in the draft. Brian Dable offense, 2nd year Cam Ward. I think there's a lot to like about Carnell Tate. And just compared to the other guys like Rome, he's not one of Ben Johnson's guys. I think there's a world where he goes off, but there's also a world where he just kind of gets phased out. Tyson's got injury concerns. The other guys just have a lot of question marks there, but my shit is not. My shit's definitely still spinning. Oh, I got to do it again. There we go. Carnell Tate. And then I'm going to grab my quarterback here. I'm going to grab Jaden Daniels. I think he has real QB1 upside. And I would say Hurts does too. Maybe, you're bullish on the Herbert MVP campaign, so maybe he does too. But
yeah, for sure. Herb's definitely one of my guys. Yeah, I mean, you taking Jaden definitely fucks our strategy a little bit here, but that's okay. We have 2 great running backs. We have 3 great receivers. And I don't love the running backs here. You got Jalen Warren, you got Chuba Hubbard. The receivers is Rome, DK, Marv, Lemon, Sutton. There's a guy that I'm very high on. I'm going to talk about him when we do our tight end video in a couple weeks. I think Tucker Kraft, I have him as my tight end 3. You mentioned the Christian Watson thing, and is Jaden Reed not better than him? Matthew Golden. I think Tucker Kraft is clearly the best pass catcher
100%.
on the Packers. He's, on track to be ready for week 1. He was a beast last year before he got hurt. I know a lot of people compare him to George Kittle, and that's what he is. I mean, he's the best yards after catch tight end in all of football. So I'm going to take my tight end here and go with Tucker Kraft. I feel like, like I said, he's my tight end 3. I'm getting him at the tight end 6 here. So I feel like that's good. As we wait for it to load, Sweeper, bro. Got a bone to pick with you. There we go. It went. All right. So then Chuba, Jadarian, DK Metcalf, Rome, Jalen Warren, Mekhi Lemon. And it's back on us in pretty much the same boat. You got Marv staring right at our face.
Kind of worked out for you, I feel like.
But it's not Marv who I want here.
Right.
It's not Cortland Sutton either.
No.
It's not Michael Wilson.
Definitely not.
It's P-Dub.
Yep.
P-Dub. I mean, he's been in a couple of these already. We're only 4 through, and I think this will be the second one he's been in. But I think Parker Washington, he's getting drafted here in the middle of the 7th round, you call it. Probably a little bit later in most leagues. But I think he's a guy who has real upside to be a wide receiver too. I'm not going crazy. I'm not saying this is going to be a top 12 guy, which I think there's a chance. There's more of a chance than a lot of other guys, but I'm not saying that. I think there's a real chance this is a top 24 guy who's going to have weeks, as a wide receiver, 15, 16 around there. So I'm going to go P-Dub here.
Very nice.
He's just, to me, it's beating a dead horse here, but he's going to lead the Jaguars in targets. He very well could lead them in yards and touchdowns as well.
Yeah, I think I like Parker too. And it's kind of this similar concept. Like, if you like Brian Thomas over Parker, fine. But, if you can get Parker around later, I would just rather do that. I'd rather press that button. All right, so I'm back here. I'm not looking at Jacoby Myers, really. I mean, man, this is tough. This is not the best spot I want to be in here. Rico Dowdle, I know it's back and forth between him and Warren, who's a starter. I really don't want a timeshare of the Steelers running back room. So I think I need an RB3. I need a little bit of depth at the running back position. He gets hurt every year, but when he's on the field, he's really good. I'll go J.K. Dobbins because he'll at least start out the season. I can put him in a flex spot. Maybe Cardinal Tate takes a little bit to get going. And if the pick would load on my screen, that would be really, really helpful to the rest of the draft.
I think we're good, though. I think it just takes a few seconds.
Yeah, no, it just keeps spinning. Usually on the phone, if you just go back out and in, it's good. But, that shit is still spinning.
I'll let it spin for a second.
Yeah,
we know who you're
I'll
taking. We can talk about your next pick.
Yeah. My next pick, I mean, these guys are kind of all in similar boats. He's older, but he's still in a really good offense. Wide receiver 13 last year, 15 the year before that. I know Waddle's there, but I think I go Cortland Sutton. I think I go double Bronco here. Because, oh my God, this is so fucking
yeah, this is
so annoying.
Something.
Or Kenny Gainwell, the 16th best running back in the NFL, apparently.
Dobbins
did it?
went
Okay, cool. To make sure I definitely want to take. Yeah, I'm not in love with any of these other wide receivers here. Quentin Johnson, I guess I could hear, but I do have Ladd. But I'm gonna go Sutton here. There's a little bit of proof of concept there at least.
There you go. And then Jacoby Dart, Kyle Monungai, Rico Dowd, Caleb Williams, Blake Corum, and that hurts.
Yeah,
that hurts. Herb goes there.
Still got your pick of the litter at quarterback.
Yeah, I was definitely obviously
you're bullish on Herbert.
Yeah, Herb's my QB2 overall. Quarterback video dropped the other day. If you haven't already, go check that out. But the other guy I spoke about in that video was Trevor Lawrence. He's my quarterback 6, getting him here at the back end of the 8th round. Just took P-Dub. I love that stack. I think that's one of the best stacks, especially given the value, right? Joe Burrow, Jamar stack is king.
Right.
Dak Pickens is king. But
Right.
in terms of value, I'm getting them at back-to-back picks here, the 7th and the 8th round. So I'm going to stack up P-Dub with T-Law. And then Godwin, Dak, Gadsden, Mahomes, Addison, Pittman go. Q just there, who I love, but I do need a running back. And I think, do you have a choice here of the running backs?
I think, honestly, as much as disappointing as he may have been last year, like Bill's still the starter. They didn't really bring in anyone to replace him, but Johnny Brooks, man, like that's the home run hit there. You know what I mean? So
I love John Brooks. I
Yeah.
think he can make it back around unless you
Okay.
take him with your back-to-backs.
that's fine.
But Bill is cool. That's not where I would go. Not in the Washington backfield.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rashad White is
Interesting.
he's an interesting is the way to put it. He's an interesting football player, right? Like not a great rusher of the football. Never been efficient. One of the best pass catching backs in the league. One of the best pass blocking backs in the league. We saw Austin Eckler on this Commanders offense share time and be a great fantasy option. I mean, multiple games with double-digit points. Obviously went down with the injury, and that kind of, derailed that since he wasn't on the field. But I think there's a clear role for Rashad White, whereas JCM, there's a clear role, right? Like he could be the early down guy. He could lose touches to Rashad White in the early down. He could lose touches to Fat Man Allen if Fat Man comes along. Like Rashad White is the clear passing down back in this offense. He's also even in Tampa. Like he saw goal line work. He took some goal line work from Bucky Irving while he was there. So I'm gonna go Rashad here for the PPR upside.
Brock Purdy, Herbert, back-to-back picks is crazy. My bad.
So it goes Purdy, Kincaid, Kittle, Huge, Fergie, Wandale, Hunter Henry. A big run of tight ends.
Yeah. Wow. Man, Kittle off the pup. Kittle in the 9th round feels wrong, but then he's on the pup, so it's like whatever. I like the Rashad White pick. I never like I was looking at Bill yesterday because someone somewhere was talking about him on a video, and I'm like, oh, Bill sucked last year, but he's definitely like the early down back. But like you said, I mean, they brought in Rashad White and Jerome Ford, but like Jerome Ford ain't.
Yeah, I'm not
Still
worried
worth
about
him,
Jerome
right?
Ford.
Like, yeah. So, and like you mentioned, he's great in pass pro. Just picked up Diggs, so they're going to be throwing the ball a ton. I still think. Let's see here. I'm gonna go. I just mentioned him a little while ago. I'm not taking Christian Watson in the 6th round. I'm gonna grab Jaden Reed here. I think that's a 3-round discount on a guy who's put up numbers in the offense before. I will take that there, and then.
I think the upside to Jaden Reed, too, is Matthew Golden wasn't that good. And, Jaden Reed's never been a full-time player, but now with Romeo Doubs gone, I'm not saying it's likely, but it's more likely than ever that Jaden Reed will get burned in 2 wide receiver sets.
Right.
It could very well be Watson and Reed out there in 2 wide receiver sets, which would be sick for Jaden Reed, getting him in the 9th round, end of the 9th round.
100%. So I go Reed there, and then I'm going to I know I talked about Bill, but I don't want to do that right now. I think I'm pretty okay at running back for now. I could take some swings in the later rounds. I'm going to grab my tight end here. I'm going to grab Travis Kelce. Tight end 3 last year. I know he's 37 years old. I don't expect him to have some sort of elite upside, but there's at least a safe target floor for him and red zone upside. But he hasn't been as good in the red zone the past few years, but he'll be a fine weekly start at tight end, I think.
For sure. And then it goes Brian Robinson, who is way overpriced. I mean, Brian Robinson, the beginning of the 10th round is absolutely nuts. Ken Gainwell, Stafford, A. Jones, Jordan Love, Bill, Dallas Goedert. And now I'm going to do the thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the Jonathan Brooks thing. He's down the board here. Look, I mean, it's been all good things from Carolina out of camp and, all summer, right? He didn't play last night in the Hall of Fame game, which is great for a guy who's not seen any NFL action basically in his 2-year career to not play him in the first preseason game. That means he's, clearly a part of the long-term plan, right? Like Bryce, T-Mac, Jalen Coker, all those guys didn't play. So to include Jonathan Brooks in that bunch, he's a great pass catcher and can very well take over this backfield. So I'm going to grab John Brooks there, especially after the Rashad White pick, right? Rashad White doesn't have much upside, but I know what I'm getting from Rashad White, so I like swing for the fences there. Then it goes a bunch of tight ends again, likely Andrews, Dobbs, Kenyon Sadiq, Bo Nix, and Jared Goff. I'm going to do the thing here. Just signed the other day. If you didn't know, Stephon
Yeah.
Diggs signed with the Washington Commanders.
I was told.
I mean, this is a guy who had over 1,000 yards last year, like Matty J likes to always point out, on damn near 50% of snaps.
Yep.
He slots in perfectly to a slot role in Washington, right? Like there was talks about Chig moving over and playing slot. Obviously, they drafted Antonio Williams, but this is a guy who, I mean, playing next to Terry, one of the best wide receiver twos in the league in an offense that projects to be high scoring, not a great defense on the other side, should have a lot of opportunities. I think Jaden's going to love him. I think Jaden's going to absolutely
100%.
love Diggs. You know, Diggs, he's a vet. He's been around. Jaden, a guy who scrambles. Like, Diggs is going to find the soft spots in the zones when things break down. So I'm going to grab Diggs here in the 11th round. And I mean, that's to me, that's not a value you're going to get for the rest of the summer.
No
like
shot.
I expect him to move up into the 9th, 8th round as time goes on here.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not where he's gonna be drafted, but for there, it's a phenomenal pick. I mean, even if he's not there, you could have went like Josh Downs. Like there's guys there. Oh, a little Seth Coker went. I definitely was leaning that way. But
Go Sharps, Downs, Jaden Higgins, Algier, Jordan Mason, Brenton Strange, and then Jalen Coker.
Yep, I'm gonna grab my guy and Liam Cohen's guy here in C-Rod in the 11th round. I mean, decent shot to be maybe not the full-time back, but at least goal line back, maybe even early down back. He's a good football player. I think he has a real shot at being a valuable contributor to a really good offense. So C-Rod, if and when it likes to load.
Yeah, it's been good things too, because C-Rod, went into the summer hurt, didn't really practice, and then with camp and full pads on, it's been good things, right? Like, he's clearly going to have the role as the thumper for them. He's probably going to end up being the goal line back. I don't know why people think Tootin's going to be a goal line back. I know he got a lot of goal line opportunities last year, but when you give a guy like Chris Rodriguez the money that they gave him, it's clearly because they have a plan for him, and the plan is obviously to be the goal line back. So,
Yeah,
I think C-Rod here at the end of the draft, like, why not? I mean, if
right?
Tootin misses time, he's a home run. So,
And then, there's a couple ways you could go here. I think this is good value on Shakir. I just don't think Shakir is like a big upside swing at the end of the draft, but maybe you're a little thin at wide receiver at this point. I think it's a fine pick here. Golden, I went Jaden Reed, so I don't really want to double dip there. I will double dip, however. I know I have Kelsey. I'm going to go Xavier Worthy. I think there's, he was a first-round pick a couple years ago. It was a really down year for him, but I think they got to find a way to get him to have a meaningful role in the offense. So at least as a field stretcher, and again, at the end of the draft, as a home run hitting guy, like, why not?
yeah, for sure. And then it goes Shakir, KC, Jawan Johnson, Schultz, Golden, Woody Marks, Jonah Coleman. So we're at the end here, only 2 more picks. This guy isn't next up in terms of ADP, but honestly, I think similar to Diggs, he's gonna fly up the board a little bit. Just signed, older guy, was really good, especially in the first half last year when he played. Things broke down in Washington, ends up back home in San Francisco. I'm gonna go with Deebo Samuel here. I think it's good value at the end of the draft. Like, I mean, he was a wide receiver 1 for the first 7 weeks of the season last year.
I was just gonna say he finished as a wide receiver 25. Like that's incredible.
Great, yeah. And then Tyron Tracy, Denzel Boston, Omar Cooper, Baker, Emmett Johnson, and Tajay Spears go. To end my draft here, definitely looking for some upside, especially because I took the 2 younger guys. I'm going to go with Zachariah Branch, who I've kind of come along on recently, especially this spot, the last pick. That's where that's your dart throw at a rookie or second-year guy who you hope comes along. Everything I've heard about, from Falcons beat reporters and from Falcons camp is he's been the number 2 guy besides Drake London. So I think Zachariah Branch, maybe, right? Like, you're not hoping for much from your last pick, so maybe something. And then we get Shaheed, Malik Willis, James Conner, Shuck, Keaton Mitchell, Kyler, Jawan Jennings, and then you're up with Mr. Irrelevant.
With my final pick, let's see. Who did I take there? Kind of in the same vein, like you said, rookie, second-year guy. I'm going to go with DeZon Stribling. That team is banged up. It's been really good out of camp for him. He's dealing with a little bit of a hamstring, but he was back at practice, I think either today or yesterday. But, like, Mike Evans is dealing with injuries right now. Like, somebody's got to catch the ball. He was a second-round pick. Debo's old. Like, there is a path. Ricky Pearsall obviously tore his ACL. Like, there is a path to some real volume for him. So, again, why not?
And then, it's the last pick. If it doesn't happen, you drop him and pick someone else up. Yeah. So that's the 1-4, just to run down the team. Puka, Derrick Henry, Ken Walker, Zay Flowers, Terry McLaurin, Tucker Kraft, P-Dub, T-Law, Rashad, Johnny Brooks, Diggs, Debo, and Zachariah Branch.
I think they did a pretty damn good job.
I think that's a solid team from the 1-4. Comment down below any of these picks that you don't like, any of the picks that you do like. We got content all week. We got the running backs that we are hammering home coming out tomorrow, then the 1-5, then running backs to avoid, and then the 1-6 coming out on Friday. If you didn't see any of the videos from last week, go check those out. The 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, and then our quarterbacks that we are smash picking, and then the quarterbacks that we are avoiding. Lots of content Monday through Friday, the entire month of August. Shout out to Tom for making his debut on the Fantasy Channel.
Oh, yeah.
You might see him in another video or two throughout the week. Who knows?
Who knows?
Lots of surprises here on BallGame Fantasy. So, yeah, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow us on all our socials. And with that,
BallGame.